Hello, everybody! Hello, do you like the new intro? Welcome to the ShareWarehouse, where we'll be talking about DOS games, past and present. Well, not really present, pretty much exclusively in the past. And I figure it's the good place to start as any, as the very first experience with a lot of DOS games that most people had, and that's the Commander Keen series. Because Commander Keen, outside of Wolfenstein 3D, was everywhere. Every single computer may as well have come with Commander Keen preloaded on it, right next to that ski-free program that everyone got crazy about, and right next to Solitaire. Hell, if they would have put Commander Keen as the default game in Windows, 3.1? Yes. Faux show, yes. Now, this game came out in 1990. Not exactly the advent of PC gaming, but this game was, I believe, the first round about there to have like this really smooth scrolling Mario style platform. Really hard to do. It's basically an exploit of the PC hardware that allows this smooth scrolling that you'll see here in a second. Anyway, before we get started, here's some backstory. So this little guy down here with the football helmet, baseball helmet? No, football helmet, which appears to be a Packers helmet. Go Packers! Is Billy Blaze. He is our Commander Keen, so he is this boy genius, kind of Jimmy Neutron style, and he builds his own spaceship out of household parts. So he goes up to Mars and he finds out that the Vortigons, which is that little guy peeking out from the corner, that sort of wolfy guy, we'll come back to him in a second, there's a bunch of him, and they find him as a threat, and they want to invade Earth because they want Earth's toys. What a great plot. So toys are holy relics to the Vortigons. And there's actually a lot of deep story in here because I don't think I actually read the backstory all that closely. And it's saying that there was a civil war. NASA sent the Voyager up and it landed on their despot, sort of like Dorothy's house landing on the Wicked Witch of the East. I think it was the Wicked Witch of the East. Yeah. So, and it throws the entire place into chaos. It's basically anarchy now. So you'll see these little happy green aliens. Yeah, right. That guy right there. He is called a Yorp. All right. Yorps are basically like little friendly, cute little dog-like creatures that you can step on, which is adorable. Kind of, that's sort of its own, well, another homage to Mario games. And then you'll come across these other big guys named Gargs, which we'll point out in a second. Gargs are awful. So apparently Yorps were sort of slaves or somehow otherwise subjugated to the Garps. Or the Gargs, rather, which was awful. I just thought everything on this planet were Vortigons back when I was a child. I had no idea. Now, getting to the gameplay here, you'll notice immediately sort of the Mario homage, and that's almost where this game came from. These guys were trying to make a PC port of Mario 3, I think it was, because I can't think that came out at the same time. Mario 3 was, what, I think 1989 or 1990, and the original Mario was 1985. So they built basically a full working model of Mario 3, and they pitched it to Nintendo, and Nintendo's like, you know, I'm sorry, but Nintendo games, oh my god, you can shoot oh, they're so sad, why would you shoot? Alright, I'll come back to that second. Anyway, let me finish my original story. So Nintendo said, no, I'm sorry, the Mario games are specifically for Mario consoles, but they gave them a huge pat on the back for their technical achievement. But unfortunately sent them on their way. But that did begin id Software and began the Commander Keen series, and then Wolfenstein and Duke Nukem, and then everything that became well-known and ubiquitous about old school DOS PC gaming. Now, let's talk a little bit about the controls in Commander Keen. Now, I'm not having such a bad time here because I finally was able to get my joystick working in DOS games, which back in the day was nearly impossible. It was almost as hard as getting your sound card working because you had to know like the IRQ settings and the ports and all that kind of stuff. So you had to choose almost 3 random numbers to get anything working in DOS. Now, the problem with the keyboard, well, a lot of problem with the keyboard, because controlling this kind of platform with the keyboard is not impossible, but tricky. But the joystick makes it much, much easier. Now, the pogo stick we just picked up is probably your best friend throughout the entire game. You can technically go through the entire game without picking it up. That's a Garg, by the way. Once they see you, it's kind of like that Grim Reaper guy in, Kid Icarus. So the moment he sees you, he just wigs out and starts running for you, except no little things start flying around. The teddy bears and everything are strictly just for points. That's all you need. And those signs, the one that just said Pogo up there, that's the standard galactic alphabet, which is decipherable. It's just a real simple letter replacement algorithm thing. I don't know what that one says. Oh, there we go. Now I do. Ha ha ha. Magic of editing. Another thing I want to touch on about the controls is, again, just coming this when I played this, when I was, 1990? Let's just say that was a long time ago. I didn't even know that you could shoot in this game. Because you pick up these little ray gun things, and I thought it was like theoretically possible to shoot stuff, but I never figured out how. But here's how you do it. Like, on the keyboard, you have to hit, I think it's like the jump and action buttons at the same time. Or the jump and the pogo button. I don't know. It's a really weird combination. And it's really hard to do while you're trying to control yourself. Because the momentum with Keen is crazy. Even worse on this pogo stick. Like, you start moving in one direction. If you want to change directions, good luck. You gotta wait for a while. It's like jumping on ice. But that's one of the things I like about Commander Keen. It is very challenging, but kind of for the right reasons. Like, here's a Vortigaunt. Now, the only way to get past him, normally I just dodge him. I figured 3 shots was enough to kill him. Kinda wasn't. My bad. There are some things you can't even kill. It's kind of wacky. And I always felt bad about those Yarps, like, basically killing themselves in that pit of spikes because they're too dumb not to. They're kind of like turkeys in rain. They just look up and they drown. Yeah, I can't jump on those either. Yeah, everything in Keen wants to kill you. And that's what's great about it. It adds a lot of replayability because I believe... No. I believe in 1990 when you could actually buy these games directly from Apogee Software, or directly from id Software, I guess. They were $15 a piece, which was not a small chunk of change. And that was just for one episode. There are 3 episodes in... God damn it. There are 3 episodes in this kind of arena. And they're $15 a piece, but I think if you paid $30, you got all 3 plus some bonuses. I think we look at the order screen later, so it'll kind of tell us. And getting back to the shooting, on the joystick, I guess it's only assuming that you have 2 buttons. And on this joystick I'm using, it's a PS4 inspired USB controller, and it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 main buttons plus start and select. So I was hoping I could maybe make the gun its own button, but no, it's assuming that you have like an old gamepad. So jump is 1 button, pulling out your pogo stick is another button, and then shooting, you just have to moosh both buttons together, which on the joypad is not that bad, but it's not great either. Now, something I learned while I was doing a little bit of research for this game, so I have something to talk about, is that this game apparently was ported quite a bit. I'm pretty sure that those green slimy, veiny, stalactitey, mossy things kill you, but I didn't want to check it out because it's gross. But it was ported. Most recently, it was ported onto the Android platform, so I think if you go to Google Play, oh, they look so dopey when they're dead or unconscious or whatever. I think they're just knockout shots. But it was ported onto Android, so you can play all the games on Google Play, which is great. And I believe they're faithful recreations. They don't mess with the graphics or the physics or anything like that. They just make it easier to control because it's got like the 4 buttons in the lower corner. So you control, and then each button has its own action, or every action has its own button, something like that. So jumping and pogo sticking and everything has its own sort of toggle switch, which is great. It was a fantastic idea. And then in damn it, everything in this game hates you. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, and then there was a port, not even a port, but a brand new game on the Game Boy Color, or the Advance, I think it was the Color. And it was so wild. It was like, I can't even describe it. Here's like a little section of it, what it looks like. When you get into the later Keen games, they actually do look very Super Nintendo-ish. They're actually very nice, but extremely difficult. But this one looks like something completely different. They just kind of put the Commander Keen name on. But apparently John Carmack had a big hand in making it. Like, he made all the art assets for it, but I think it was designed and programmed by a completely different team whose name I can't remember. It was just, it's kind of wacky. I've never played it, but now I want to. And now I'm dead. But hey, because it's the first time I played the game in 15 years, hey, it's first place. Go me. We're not even going to do a high score challenge on this one because I don't believe that is going to pose a challenge to anybody. Now, coming from my own history, because I did grow up on these DOS games, and shareware pretty much got me through my adolescence, but I don't think I actually ever bought one, because it was too difficult, because you had to mail out a check, which I didn't have, so I guess these guys were targeting a more adult audience who had access to a checkbook, or, you know, maybe your parents would do it. And what's interesting, if you take a look at the ordering screen, it sort of validates what I talked about before. So it's $15 per episode, or you get the entire trilogy for $30. And you get a bunch of extra bonuses, secret hints and tricks, a cheat mode password, which I don't think I ever played with, the latest version, of course, and then free bonus games, which I'm really curious about, but it's probably just a collection of their shareware. Let's see, Apogee Software. So it does go right to Apogee over there in Garland, Texas, way down south. Sorry, Texans, my bad. $2 postage handling, and then you have to specify your disc size. So 5 1/4 or 3 1/2 disc size. These games I don't think were terribly large, so they would probably fit on either size disc without too much trouble, I imagine. And then if you look in previews, you can see kind of some sneak peeks of some of the art assets in the next and following games, which I completely forgot about. I don't think I've barely even played them. And then it gives you a little bit of a story and kind of shows off. And it's like, hey, here's what you're doing. And then you start a quake. And then there's thunderbolts and stuff. The fight for justice. Oh, no, wait. It's a completely different game they're touting, which I've never even heard of before. Well, in any case, that, my friends, was Commander Keen. You can find this game all over the place in shareware. And you can check it out on Android. I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. It adds a lot of replayability because you get to play the game over and over again, and there's a bunch of collectibles throughout the level, so go for the high score. It's great. Anyway, this has been Paul signing off, and as always, good night, jelly beans. Good night.